Hello, here we are with Math Division. Today is May 7th, 2020, and today we're going to do our lesson 5. We're going to be talking about word problems. So, your page numbers are 437, 438. We have, some people might have page 439. We'll look at it for a real quick second. And then the main things we're going to do today are also review, which is our pages 441 and 442. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so when you're doing word problems, there's a few things that you want to make sure that you do. And this is true whether you're doing division or multiplication, whatever kind of word problems you have. First of all, you want to consider what you know. What is it that the problem is telling us? I know Mrs. Lopez has her students circle the numbers. That's a really good idea. So circling numbers is important. Sometimes when they give you a word problem, they might even include a word that is a spelled out word, like the number 2 spelled T-W-O. So you want to make sure you catch those ones too. Next, choose the operation that will fit the answer. In other words, figure out what it is that they exactly want to know. Yesterday, we were working a word problem at the bottom of the page, and they didn't want to know how many balloons. They wanted to know what the remainder was. So you have to make sure that your answer answers the exact question that they're asking. That's very important. Next, plan. Pick a way to do the operation. Now, you might look at that word operation and say, what are you talking about, operation? Okay, now in second grade, we know all 4 operations. Ready? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. And those are really the 4 operations that you're going to be doing mostly in math. So when they talk about operations, that's what they're talking about. So you want to plan or pick a way to do the operation. So you're going to pick, am I going to add or subtract, multiply, or divide? And finally, the last part of how to do a word problem is solve. So let's take a look at the one they've given us for an example. It says, Lila picks 30 roses from her garden. She gives an equal number of roses to each of her 5 friends. How many roses does each friend get? So let's do what it's suggesting here. We want to think about and consider, what do we know? Okay, first of all, Lila picks 30 roses. So we're starting with the number 30. And then it says she gives roses to 5 friends. Hey, it sounds like equal groups. Remember, Lila wants to be fair to her friends, so she's going to give the same amount of roses to each person in her 5. So 5 is the equal groups. So it sounds like we're taking 30 and we're going to divide into 5 equal groups, and then we're going to get a quotient. What operation will you use to solve? So we're going to pick an operation. Remember, operation just means add, subtract, multiply, divide. Pick one of those. And if we're splitting things into groups and we start with a big number and then a smaller number for equal groups, big number, smaller number, we know we're either going to subtract or we're going to divide. And because our whole chapter has been about division, we're going to do some division here. And that's what they chose. Plan. So now we're going to choose a way to solve the problem. Do you want to model equal groups? Do you want to use repeated subtraction? Or do you want to write a number sentence? Now it looks like I've written a number sentence, so I pretty much planned which I wanted to do. And then it says solve. Use the method that you chose and solve the problem. So what I'm going to do, first of all, it says 5. I really like skip counting by 5s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip count by 5 until I get up to 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, I'm on 30, and how many fingers do I have up? 6. So I know each person in my 5 equal groups is going to get 6 roses. And that is what the answer is that we see down there. Did you answer the question? Yes. I said each of the 5 friends is going to get 6 roses. How can you check your answer? Well, first of all, I said each person is going to get that. What I could do is I could do the inverse operation, which means I'm going to use multiplication to check. So I'm going to say, does 6 times 5 equal 30? There's my question. And I happen to know my 5 times tables, and we just skip counted. 5 times 6, 6 times 5 is 30. So that's how I chose to check. Okay, don't forget, operation just means add, subtract, multiply, or divide, whichever you choose. I also wanted you to know that there's 2 new videos on here. Both of them are very good. This one is word problems in division explained, and this one is also division explained. And those are really good for your review. Okay, so this is the back side of that first page. It says, this one is lesson 5, pages 437 we already looked at. So this is page 438. Doesn't show up on my slide, but it is page 438. You're going to have to trust me on that. So Drew has 20 flowers. He plants 4 flowers in each little clay pot. How many flower pots does he use? What do you know? Well, first of all, I know that Drew has 20 flowers. I can circle 20. And he plants some amount, 4. He plants 4 flowers in each pot. So it looks like I'm trying to figure out how many equal groups I have. I know there are 4 in each equal group. What do you need to find? I need to divide. I'm going to divide flowers into equal, it's important to say equal, groups. Okay? Choose a method to solve my problem. Of course, if you didn't already know this, the operation that I'm going to use is division. Okay, so I'm going to take 20, and first of all, I know that I'm going to put 4 in each group. So I'm just going to start out making some groups, and I'm going to start putting 4 until I get up to 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my first one. 5, 6, 7, 8. It almost feels like I'm skip counting by 4, doesn't it? 9, 10, 11, 12. Looks like I'm going to need some more equal groups. 13, 14, 15, 16. Not quite there yet. 17, 18, 19, 20. Now these circles that I've drawn are really the flower pots that Drew used. Okay? So I could say there's 1 flower pot, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now what I have found out, that when I take 20 and I have 4 in each group, that I have 5 equal groups. So Drew used 5 flower pots in all. How did you solve the problem? Well, really what I did was I drew a picture. And that's the picture that you see right there, and that helped me. And there it says right there, I can draw 20 flowers in groups of 4. Now really, if you look at my picture is more like I planted the seeds because I just used little dots. But I tend to like to do that because I want to get my math figured out as quickly as possible. Okay, choose a method and solve. Emma has 18 plants. She divides them into 2 equal groups. This reminds me of a problem we had yesterday. How many plants are in each equal group? So I'm going to do the same method, but I know there are 2 equal groups, and I know there are 18 plants altogether. So I'm going to start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Ooh, I got to 18, so now I can stop. So I have 2 equal groups, and I know they add up to 18. So now I just need to count how many in one group, and that'll tell me my answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it looks like 9 are in each equal group. So I'm going to write my answer there, and the answer is 9. Now if I wanted to check my work, especially because I only have 2 equal groups, I could go like this. 9 plus 9, I happen to know my double facts. So 9 plus 9 is 18. So that works perfectly. Ellie. I have a niece named Ellie. Ellie has 70 tulips, one of my favorite flowers. It's not Ellie. It's Eli. Sorry. Eli has 70 tulips. He plants them in rows of 10. How many rows does Eli plant? Okay, so drawing that out is going to be kind of a lot of drawing, even if I just use seeds. So I think I'm going to do a math problem. I'm going to say 70 divided by 10 equals some number. Okay, now I kind of like this one because we're counting by tens, and I really like counting by tens because I know that whatever the quotient is, that this number times 10 is going to give me 70. I can also look at my division facts too, and I can say 70 divided by 10 equals a certain number, or even easier, I can say 7 divided by 1 equals, and we call that a basic fact. 7 divided by 1 is 7. And I could check my work and see if I did it right by working in this direction, and I'm going to use the operation of multiplication because I remember that division and multiplication are opposites. So 7 times 10 equals 70. So that tells me that I did do my division problem correctly. And I'm going to draw a little arrow here. So that just helps me to know. So my answer is 7 rows. Now I could also check by skip counting, and I could skip count by 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Okay, so I got up to my 70, and how many fingers are up? 7. So that's how I know my answer is 7. Once again, another video for you to watch if you'd like. And then the very last thing we're going to do here today is we're going to do review. Some of you may have this page. Let me show you. Oopsie. Didn't want to do that. Okay, so some of you may have this page. That is this one. Nope. going to go back to where we were. Okay. Some of you may have this page really quick. 3 groups of 2. So it just gives you another opportunity to review. And what it's doing is it's spiraling back. We're reminding ourselves about multiplication. So 3 groups of 2, right, times 2 is 6. And if you want to make 3 groups of 2, you could draw a picture like that, and that'll give you 6. And you can even skip count by 2. 2, 4, 6, and that works. This one says 5 groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 5 equal groups of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So that's 15. And here are my groups. I'm going up and down instead of having my rows go across. So I'm doing it a little differently today. Okay, 4 groups of 6. So this time I'm going to go the other way. 4 groups of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pretend like you're planting seeds, like the farmer. Remember, we said that at the very beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's my first group of 6, second group of 6, third group of 6, and my fourth group of 6. So 4 groups of 6. Now you can skip count by 6. That's not too bad because I know 6 plus 6 is 12. So 6, 12, and then I'm going to take 12 and add 6. That'll be 18. And then 18 plus 6 is 24. Sometimes, one of the things I've always used is I say 6 plus 6 is 12, and I know 12 plus 12 is 24. That's a little bit easier to add because I don't have to do any regrouping at all. So I like that way a little bit better. Okay, 2 groups of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 2 groups of 10, 20. Okay, this chart shows points you can earn for doing tasks in a computer game. Jamie finds 3 towns and builds 4 roads. Jaime. His sister Leah finds 2 towns and builds 6 rows. How many points does Jamie get, or Jaime? 3 towns, so 3 times 5 is 15, right? And building a road, he builds 4 rows, and every time he builds a road, he gets 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. So I'm going to add these together. 8 plus 5 is 13, so I'm going to have to regroup there. 1 plus 1 is 2. So the total of points for Jaime is 23. How many points does Leah get? Leah only finds 2 towns. So every time you find a town, you get 5 points. So I'm changing Leah's into 10. And then she builds 6 roads. So she built quite a few more roads than he did. So that's going to give her 12 right there. Uh-oh. It looks like Leah only got 22 points. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Okay, so we're going to go really quickly to our other review page. There aren't a lot of problems on that page. So I think you're going to find the end of this lesson to be very quick. Here we go. So this is called the Chapter 22 review. It's not really a test. Your test is tomorrow. It says draw to show the number in each group. So I'm going to draw 12 dots, but you notice they're in 3 groups. So that's 3 equal groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it looks like I have 1, 2, 3 groups, and each group has 4. Okay? And then it says circle each group of 2 on my question 2. So I'm going to say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when I divide it into sets of 2, I'm going to end up with 8 equal groups. Now, in this question 3, they want me to subtract by 5 to divide by 5. So I'm going to start at 20 because 20 is my big number. So I'm going to subtract 5, subtract 5, subtract 5, subtract 5. Remember, I'm continuing to subtract 5 until I get to 0. So let's see how many mountains I drew. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like 20 divided by 5 is 4. So that's helpful. But now they want me to divide a different number, 15. So here's 15, that's my big number. I'm going to subtract 5s again until I get to 0. And now I only drew 3 mountains. So my answer there is 3. Complete the division sentence. Write the remainder. Oh, a remainder. Yeah. So I'm going to do my division problem like that. And I'm going to say, how many times does 6 fit into 20? So I'm going to skip count by 6 and get as close to 20 as possible without going over. Because once I've gone over, I've gone too far. So 6, 12, add 6 to 12 and you get 18. Now if I add 6 more, I know I'm going to go over. So I think my answer is 3. Oopsie, I didn't do that very well. I'm going to write the 3 directly over that 0. Because I'm not saying 6 goes into 2 3 times. I'm saying 6 goes into 20 3 times. So 3 times 6 is 18. And then I'm going to subtract. Need to do a little bit of regrouping here. This becomes 10. So 10 take away 8 is 2. So now I know my answer is 3, remainder 2. So my answer is 3, my remainder is 2, and I'm going to write the answer properly. 3, remainder 2 is really my complete answer. Tina has packed 50 apples. She packed them 5 to a gift box. How many gift boxes did Tina pack? So I'm going to take 50 and I'm going to divide it by 5. I think I could skip count by 5 until I get up to 50. Let's try it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oops. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So how many did she have to pack? She had to pack 10. Now let's see if I can check that division problem and see if I get the right answer. And that means I'm going to work this way because now I'm going to multiply. I'm going to do the opposite. So 10 times 5 does equal 50. So that means I did my problem correctly. So she had to pack 10 gift boxes. Explain how you know. And I'm going to write, I checked with multiplication. Or I'm just going to say multiplying. Okay, so that's how I know that my answer is correct. And she used 10 gift boxes. I could also say I skip counted by 5. There's not one right answer for that bottom part. You just have to decide what you used, what method you used to get that right answer. Okay? And the back page only has, I think, 4 problems. And they are multiple choice problems. Here we go. This is the last page. Oh, we're dealing with fractions. Which fractions? Name the shaded part. Well, we haven't done fractions yet. Fractions is going to be one of our next subjects we're going to learn. But for right now, what I want you to think about is that each one of these shapes is 1. That's 1. Looks like a square to me. 1 square, that's a second square. And each one is divided into 3 sections, so we call that thirds. So first of all, I know this can't be right because this is not divided into thirds. So that can't be the right answer. This one can't be right either because this one's not divided into thirds either. So now I'm going to count how many shaded parts we have. And each one of those shaded parts is a third. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not 1/3. So I think my answer is going to have to be 4/3. It's an improper fraction because it has a whole number, because that whole one whole square, is shaded completely. But we'll get into that when we talk about fractions. Okay, use a pattern to complete the table. What is the product? Oh, we're multiplying because we have a product of 5 times 5. So remember, the key here is look at 1. So this is interesting. In one glove, there are 5 fingers. Well, I should hope so. In 2 gloves, there are 10 fingers. In 3 gloves, there are 15 fingers. 4 gloves, there are 20 fingers. And in 5 gloves, there are 25 fingers. This is a really interesting problem. So my answer is 25. What multiplication sentence does the model show? Hey, you know what, you guys? That looks sort of like an array, doesn't it? And what I need to know is I need to know how many equal groups there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 equal groups. And I need to know going this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like we have 6 and 5. 6 sets of 5. So I need to skip count to see what my answer would be. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's 6 sets of 5 equals 30. So it looks like I'm going to choose this one. 6 sets of 5 is 30. What is the answer to this division problem? 12 is being divided into 2 equal groups. Well, if I tried to put 2 here, and then I multiplied this way, 2 times 2 is 12? I don't think so. And then if I said, well, what about 5? I'm going to put 5 here. 5 times 2 is 12? No. Now, you guys probably know the answer already, but I'm going to skip one. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to check this one. Let's try that. The answer is 7. 7 times 2 is 12? No, I don't think so. So the answer is really 6, because when I work this way, 6 times 2 is definitely 12. If I wanted to check that, I could skip count by 2s and see how many fingers I have up. Ready? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. How many fingers do I have? I have 6. So definitely 6 times 2 is definitely 12. And we also know that 12 divided into 2 equal groups is going to give me sets of 6. Okay? So there's one more thing we want you to do today to get ready for the test tomorrow. It's not hard. So the last thing we're going to ask you to do is practice math facts with Gigi for 20 minutes. If you don't have to do math facts, you can just do Gigi for 20 minutes. I think that's what it says on your schedule. And then if you would like to watch this video, this is one of the videos that we'll definitely put on the playlist. It is word problems explained with both multiplication and division. So keep in mind that tomorrow you're going to be taking the division test, but the day after that you're going to be taking the unit test. And the unit test will cover both multiplication and division. So be ready for that. Okay, and that is our last slide. You see my favorite number 12 is there, but I just want to say have a wonderful math day, and I hope you enjoyed this video.